In this video, I will show you how to create your schedule in Agendrix. There are two ways to create shifts. You can use the Create button at the top left of the calendar, or simply move your mouse over the desired day and click on the left-hand portion of the box. By clicking here, the creation window will open to the right of your screen. For today's example, I'm going to create a shift for Alex on Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I will choose the Montreal location and the position cashier. You can also enter a note to communicate important details to the employee. For example, I could write, "Don't forget deposits." Then, you can check this box to indicate that the shift is on call. It's also possible to hide the end time from the employee if it's not determined in advance. Finally, by checking Auto Clock, the employee will not be obliged to clock in. Once the shift has been completed, the time entry is automatically created in the timesheet. To the right, you've probably noticed that a break has been added automatically. Indeed, the shift met the conditions of this automatic break rule, which grants a 30-minute break as soon as the shift exceeds 5 hours of work. You can also add a customized break manually by clicking on Add. You can then choose the duration of the break, determine the start time, and if it's paid or not. If you are a user of the Resources add-on, you can also associate one or more resources to the shift. For more details on resources, please consult the video dedicated to this add-on. Now that the information is entered, I'd like to bring your attention to the Recurrence tab. The concept is simple. If your shifts are repeated on a weekly or monthly basis, you can set a recurrence to avoid having to create it manually each time. For today's example, we will select on a weekly basis. You can then determine the frequency of repetition. If you enter 1 in this box, the shift will be automatically created to repeat every Thursday. You could also enter another frequency so that the shift would repeat every 2 weeks, for example. The summary on the right will tell you how this will translate on the schedule. You can change the day on which the shift will repeat right here, and then determine when this recurrence should end. Once you've made your choices, click on Create, and the shifts will be automatically created in the schedule. Now, I'd like to introduce you to shift templates in Agendrix. This function allows you to save time when you have shifts that are used often. For example, you could create a template for the day shift and the evening shift. To access shift template settings, click on the settings icon in the main menu to the left of your screen. Then, click on the Scheduling tab. Go to the very bottom to click on Manage your shift templates. Click on Create your first template in the center of the page, or Add a shift template right here. The concept is very simple. First, we need to enter a title for the template. For this example, I will call it Cashier-Day. I will enter 9 a.m. for the start time and 5 p.m. for the end time. I will then select the cashier position from the drop-down menu, and I can also add notes or instructions if required. You will then find the same options we saw earlier when we created a shift manually in the scheduler. When all your information has been entered, click on Save. The template now appears in the list right here. Let's return to the scheduler to see how to use the template we've just created. By dragging your mouse over the right portion of a box, click on From Templates. You will see the template options that are compatible with the employee in question. If the employee does not have the template position in his profile, the template will not be displayed in the options to choose from. For today, I'm going to choose the Cashier Day template. It's that simple. The shift is added automatically without you having to enter all the information manually. The last option I'd like to show you is the automatic break rules. Since it's very common to have breaks that depend on specific criteria, such as the length of a shift, Agendrix lets you create rules so breaks will be automatically added when the shifts you create meet the criteria. To access the automatic break settings, return to the settings by clicking on this icon in the main menu. Under the Scheduling tab, you will find the Manage Automatic Break Rules button at the very bottom of the page. Let's add an automatic break together to understand how this feature works. To begin, click on Add an Automatic Break Rule. Then, choose the length of the break and whether it's paid or unpaid. For example, we'll create a 30-minute paid break. Next, we need to choose whether this break will be applied according to a duration range or a fixed duration. For today's example, I'm going to enter a duration range for shifts ranging from 3 to 8 hours. This break will then be automatically added to the shifts that respect the range. Before you finish, you can also choose if this break rule applies to all locations and positions or only to specific ones. Once you've made your choices, click on Save. To make your life easier, you can also use keyboard shortcuts to do different actions in the scheduler. By clicking on the shift and holding down your mouse button, you can then move it somewhere else on the schedule. If you do the same action, but hold down the Alt key or Option key if you're using a Mac, you can make a copy of the shift by dragging it onto another square of your choice, like this.
That's it for this video. If you have any questions or need help setting up your account, our customer success team is available by chat, phone, or email to assist you. Thank you for choosing Agendrix.